What is going on, people? Welcome to episode 2 of Life Sports Gaming, aka the Bond Tales, because I've always wanted to talk about. Just a regular Saturday, raining, dreary, supposed to be a flash flood warning in the area, so I'm really just chilling right now. Enjoying a nice little bit of cool weather because it's been very hot lately. So, if you're new to the, whatever we're calling this, the Bond Tales, the podcast, the vlog, just, quick little videos once a week, kind of blogish, 10 minutes on life, 10 minutes on sports, 10 minutes on gaming, and then we wrap it up. Nice, easy, and quick. And, gaming, kind of boring right now, but, there's a lot of things going on in life, a lot of things going on in sports, a lot of things going on or not going on in gaming. RGB is not overrated. Spider-Man, sorry. Stack Bond, you definitely can call me that because the countdown to Vegas is beginning. Vegas is going to be lit. Bachelor party in Vegas at the end of August. I have never been to Vegas before, but judging by what we're going to be doing, hotels, flights, everything that we're trying to do, I am estimating at minimum it's going to cost around $3,000, and that's just a soft estimate right there. Could cost more, who knows? I mean, I did plan on buying a Predator X28 or 27 or that new ROG, whatever monitor was 4K, 120 hertz, G-Sync, HDR, blah, 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 blah. But then I'm like, you know what? Vegas is looking like a much better idea. Just can't recklessly spend money. I mean, I can't be like these Xbox guys that just buy hardware and let it sit. I mean, I'm not really playing a lot of games in the summer anyway. Birds of the Grave, you got that damn right. I am definitely sad to see that Machado did not go to the Phillies. That was very disappointing. I feel like the Dodgers have owned us the past month. That Magic Johnson, the Dodgers, and the Lakers have owned us. Have I been to Atlantic City? Yes, I have. I mean, I've got friends in Venture, Margate, Sea Isle, Avalon. That they've got beach houses all over. We like to get down. We like to have fun. I'm sure you've been to Atlantic City. Trust me, Vegas is a step up, and not that AC is bad. Oh, I expect Vegas to be 2 and 3 times better. That is what I'm expecting. That is what I want. And no, I feel you Kobe 24-8. Nah, Lakers, baby, definitely not. So, first topic in the life part is Weapon Wheel podcast guest. I mean, it can't just be me, but whenever I bring on a guest, people say that, that was a good guest, that was a good call, a good pull, very entertaining show. But BG just randomly brings out these morons as guests, people that don't contribute to the topics. I mean, it doesn't matter if the person is annoying. It doesn't matter if people don't like the person. It doesn't matter if the person is a fanboy or what opinions or whatever. But if you're going to bring somebody on the podcast, can we at least get, somebody that wants to contribute to the topics? Please. I really don't think that's too hard of a thing to ask. It is a podcast. It is the Weapon Wheel podcast. If you haven't checked out lately, check out, BG interviewed Techland, the people behind Dying Light. So it's definitely a good video. I highly recommend that you check that out. I'm still waiting for BG to get CD Projekt Red in there because, I'll call out of work to talk to them. But I digress, I just want people on the podcast that can actually talk and contribute about the topic and about gaming. It's really not that hard. I mean, when I try to get people, I don't try to get, random Joe Schmo. I try to get people, with semi-decent followings. That way they get exposure for coming on and we get exposure for coming on. Trying to make, like a symbiotic mutual relationship, but appreciate that donation, Alphabet guy. But it's like, I just don't understand why BG invites some of these people on. Not to mention that he does not consult us between putting people on. In the morning, he goes, "Hey, I'm inviting this guy." And we're like, "Really, bro? Really?" I would love to also have Rockstar on there and to ask them why they think it's acceptable to only release one game per generation. So, outside of Countdown to Vegas, which I believe it's going to be 100 plus degrees out there, places not to go to in Philly: the Mushaloo, the boat, yeah, the Mushaloo, right next to Spruce Street Harbor, which is a nice little segue spot. A transitional spot, I would say, but the Mushaloo. It is a boat on the Spruce Street Harbor. It is a restaurant and it has a bar at the top of the boat. Nice scenery. You get to see the docks, you get to see the bridge, you get to see the river and everything. But wow, here was my experience. We walk in, cool. It is a boat. So already, tall people like myself have an issue with a boat. Ceiling clearance, not exactly high. I literally am walking up the steps to get outside and smash my head into a ceiling lamp. Loud as hell. Loud. Into a glass ceiling lamp. Bam! Bathroom man laughing his ass off at me. Some chick waiting for a friend outside the women's bathroom laughing her ass off at me. And I understand. I mean, it's not often that, you just see some tall dude hunched over trying to walk in a boat, coming up the steps and just literally smash his head into a lamp. 6'4", 6'5". That's what I'm about. So, we get upstairs. I did not know they have a bar up there. So I'm like, let's go to the bar, check this out real quick, before we head out to Morgan's Pier, wherever we decide to go, plow on the stars. Nice little area. I'm looking around, I'm like, this would be a nice spot to bring a date. And my friend is like, if you can't secure the package after bringing a girl here, I don't know. And I kind of agree, until I realized that to get a drink literally takes a half an hour. To get food literally takes a half an hour. I don't know who's yelling outside, but it's none of my business. Ordering any food is like taste testing appetizers. I order mushroom quesadillas, thinking I'm getting actual, slice size, mini pizza size quesadillas. No, I get 3 mushroom dumplings that you would get like at a Chinese restaurant or a a Japanese A1 place. 3 little tiny dumplings, and they call those quesadillas. That bill was $74 for 3 quesadillas, 2 beers, an order of fries, and some crazy chocolate whipped cream Reese peanut butter cup vodka infused concoction. $74 by myself. God forbid I ever bring a girl there. We're looking at 150 or God knows. Mushaloo, do not recommend it. Unless your girl begs you to go, I would highly not recommend it. Now, Morgan's Pier, I always recommend that. Morgan's Pier, you can go down there. I don't know about y'all, but I know me. You can pull. A lot of nice looking women over there. Outside of that, I want to talk about this revival of animated shows. I'm shocked. First off, we have Venture Brothers season 7, and I have always felt like the Venture Brothers is absolutely amazing. It's like a parody of Johnny Quest, but it's amazing. I think it's hilarious. Invader Zim is coming back. Another hilarious cartoon I thought of back in the day. They are bringing back the Clone Wars, which is amazing. Dave Filoni is finally bringing it back. Rebels started out bad. I think everybody hated it in the beginning simply because Disney bought Star Wars and the Clone Wars was canceled. But Clone Wars is back for 12 episodes, and they're going to conclude it, which is amazing to me. Young Justice season 3 is coming back, which I'm ecstatic about. Say what you will, these Netflix and these DC and these Disney streaming services are definitely bringing back some good shows that never got to see their final run. And one show I really wish got its final run, I don't know if anybody's ever heard of it, but Roughneck Starship Troopers. It was kind of like a CGI generated cartoon way back in the day, reboot, things like that. Even looking forward to into the fall, One Punch Man season 2. Cannot wait for that. Cannot wait for One Punch season 2. I mean, the manga right now, Garo, the Monster Hunter Association, that is getting crazy. But the cherry on top, the best thing coming out in the fall is Vento Arroyo, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Can't wait to see Giovanni, Bruno, and the gang just kill it this coming fall. I mean, we've been waiting 500 days plus for David's Productions to come out with Vento Arroyo or announce it, but can't wait for that. And yeah, we even have a Rugrats revival coming out. We have a 4th Brawley movie, as Chris Righteous has said. The Phone, Shazam. Enough of Shazam, Captain Marvel. But yeah, Broly's back. Broly's canon. I mean, Toriyama's like, with Super, we're going to have new storylines. We're going to have new characters. We're going to have new plot points. And what do we have? The return of one movie villain, another return of Frieza, and more Saiyans. I mean, I guess if it makes dollars, it makes sense. I mean, let me get back up to that donation. The alphabet guy, we know a certain GameStop midget that doesn't have to worry about those ceilings. No, he doesn't. So to conclude the life segment, yet again, I mean, this could be a weekly, soon-to-be daily segment. Another complaint on a black person. This time we have a complaint against a 13-year-old kid who opened a hot dog stand in Minnesota. Why did he open a hot dog stand? Because he wanted to raise money for back-to-school clothes. Now, we are in July, so my man got a head start on trying to get school clothes a month before August, the end of August, early September. And what do? I shouldn't say they, because I don't know who called the cops, but what did somebody do? They called the cops. I don't understand it. Why people call the cops on people for doing nothing to harm or... I don't get it. But good news, when they called the cops on the kid, because he did not have a business permit, the city gave him a business permit, and now his business is booming even more. Good for that kid. If you hate Sony games, why do you like God of War? Patreon donation. I'm enjoying it. Hey, it is what it is. What can I say? These idiots think that the police are their personal assistants or something. It's absolutely absurd and crazy. I honestly don't get it. But moving on to sports, because the first sports topic is going to be about calling the cops again, because my man was at an LA Fitness or some kind of gym. Apparently, he set a hard screen, and another player called the cops on him. Called the cops over a hard foul. Let me repeat myself. Called the cops on another guy for a hard foul. Now, I don't know where you jabronis and some of you sensitive people play basketball at, but where I play basketball, we get it in. And you defend the court at any and all costs. And it's funny how a lot of these people say, oh, Black Bond, you got punched in the face in a game of basketball. Yeah, because we get down and we get real, while the people making up this story and trying to embellish the story in a negative way are people that have served prison sentences and cannot ball and are soft. If you got punched in the face, you would probably cry, try to murder somebody, or try to fight somebody. When I get punched in the face in a basketball court, I don't budge, I smile, and I laugh at your pillow soft hands. And then we proceed to mop your ass on the court. You sit down, you go home, we continue playing like the kings of the court that we are. But to call the cops on somebody over a foul, damn shame. If I'm management at that gym, that man can no longer come back to the gym ever again. Ever again. He can never come back again. And I heard they actually went back and finished the game. I would never have anything to say to that guy ever again. Absolutely absurd and ridiculous. Almost as ridiculous as OKC, the Thunder, paying Carmelo Anthony $28 million to go home. I have no glass jaw. I have a titanium Terminator jaw. But again, $28 million to go home. My God. Alexa, living room off.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the Alexa everything. Got the echoes and, the lights, everything in the living room. I like it. Enjoyable. But $28 million to go home. Man, where can I get a job that will pay me millions of dollars, let alone $30 million to go home? So pathetic. I mean, you knew he was going to opt in because he was going to get that money, and you knew they were going to get rid of him because they weren't trying to pay like $100 million for his $28 million. So they're going to get rid of him. So he gets to take his $28 million, pick up his ball, go home, then go to another team and make even more money. And if you thought the NBA was even that absurd, it gets more absurd because we have Kawhi Leonard, Greg Popovich, shipped his snake ass out to Canada, out to Toronto, deported Kawhi, get out of the country. You're now deported. And now my man is trying to make phone calls about going to play in Brooklyn. Like, Kawhi Leonard, man, I used to like that guy, but I got to agree with Skip. I mean, man drives a 1985 truck, has a flip phone. He never speaks. I mean, all these months later, he has never spoken or put out one personal statement. Nothing. None. His uncle talks for him like LeVar Ball talks for Lonzo. I mean, yeah, the guy can play. I mean, we don't even know if he can play anymore, but I don't trust that dude. I mean, I don't know where his head's at. I don't know where his game's at. I don't know if he's got the yips at. I would definitely not max him out. I mean, is it so much to ask that he just gets on camera, gets on a radio, says something? And poor DeRosa, they had a meeting with him at Raptors management like 10 days ago saying, we appreciate your loyalty. You are the face of the franchise. DeMar DeRozan, we're not trading you. And then what did that snake-ass organization do? They traded him. They stabbed him right in the back. So now DeRozan's over, at the Spurs. Kyle Lowry, his best friend, he's got to be upset and disappointed. I mean, you've lost players throughout the history of your franchise like McGrady, Bosh, Vince Carter, and now you lost a star that wanted to be here for life. I mean, who's going to want to play there? DeRozan wanted to stick with Toronto. Who wants to play there now? I mean, they want to just tear it down and rebuild it. I mean, if Kawhi wants to stay, they got a good deal. But Kawhi's not going to want to stay, so they're going to say, hey, we went out, we got the best player on the market, we tried to make a run for it, we couldn't make a run, Kawhi didn't want to re-sign, we're going to ship off Lowry for some players or young players and some prospects and draft picks, and we're going to reboot it. They are literally going from first place, from the best standings, the best win-loss record in the East, to rebuilding in a year. And yeah, the Roach is a choke artist. I'll agree with you that, but come on, man, they did him dirty. Speaking of more dirtiness, the Dolphins attempted to suspend players for 4 games for the NFL protest. That is just absolutely absurd as well. We're going to suspend people for protesting, for kneeling, for not bothering anybody. But Papa John or Papa Racist, whatever his name is, he's telling owners that they got to stop the kneeling, how it's bad for business, how it's hurting the bottom line. No. What's hurting the bottom line is you selling cardboard with Kraft cheese and ketchup on it. What's hurting your bottom line is you being a racist. So all this talk about the players being divisive and, separating the country and distracting from the game and hurting business, yet this guy is out here in boardroom meetings and sensitivity training and meetings throwing around the N-word like a racist. And now he's trying to say that the NFL and other people are trying to extort him and trying to get him to step down from his position. What a freaking clown. And I'm glad the NFLPA is fighting against this because, about the bad luck valet, the NFL, or at least, their management and ownership. F them. And speaking of bad luck valet, if you're not watching the New Japan Pro Wrestling G1, I have no idea why you're not. Because if you're one of those people that has a moderate interest in wrestling, you need to be watching New Japan's G1. If you're one of those people that doesn't like wrestling and used to like wrestling, you need to be subscribed to New Japan World and watching the G1. Bullet Club has splintered off, and the Tongans have created the firing squad, and F them. Pretty much is their new catchphrase. And it is absolutely hilarious to see a man who looks like a thick-built General G, shades and all, just literally sat at a podium for a minute, doesn't even give a speech, literally says 2 more words than Kawhi Leonard has ever said, F him, and then just leaves. And Tama Tonga, he's coming off into his own. I mean, I kind of was worried that the firing squad would be like the NWO Wolfpack to the NWO, but there's something completely different. I mean, it'll all come full circle in the end, but they did need to shake things up, especially after Cody and all that stuff. But yeah, bad luck Fale. Best thing going right now. And beat Okada with help from Tama Tonga. Can't argue with that. Just Too Sweet is now 1 Sweet with the F him. F them all. He said he's bringing it back. Bringing it way back. And outside of that, the last thing I talk about in sports is Lesnar and Cormier. And this just seems so cheesy. It seems like wrestling and UFC, but like the cheesiest of cheese. Like, can we have Paul Heyman in UFC? I mean, I know he's writing storylines and he's going to be booking SmackDown and Raw, thank God, because they're becoming unwatchable. But Cormier and Lesnar, we can tell they both like each other. We can tell they're both fans of each other. We can tell there's no legitimate bad blood with each other. It just comes off silly and cheesy. Very cheesy. Damn, TNA is streaming on Twitch now. It's so bad. It's so bad. So as far as gaming topics go, apparently, according to Michael Pachter, the next Xbox will have a great launch, according to Michael Pachter, due to recent studio acquisitions. And that's good. I mean, it tells me they've kind of given up on the current Xbox, but right now, who can really blame them? Sony is kicking their teeth in, and Nintendo is kicking their ass, and they're getting kicked in from the front and the back. It's what it is, but hopefully Pachter is on to something, and hopefully Microsoft has learned from their lessons and starts making decent games and stops trying to push these silly service-based games and these silly games that nobody cares for outside of Halo, Gears, and Forza. They really need to expand and branch out. Hopefully Ninja Theory and the other studio acquisitions can do that. I'm hoping. I don't hate Microsoft. I just want them to be better. Just like every company. There isn't a company I hate. There's just companies I criticize, and I want them to be better. Still no news from Retro Studios, even after potential rumors of closures. Not even a statement from Nintendo. So I'm starting to get worried. Starting to get really worried about this. Don't know what's going on. But yeah, I am getting worried. The Resident Evil 2 remake looks absolutely phenomenal. I mean, you know me, I'm not a big fan of buying remakes or buying HD remakes or re-releases or remasters or anything, but this one right here is definitely at the top of the list, not of simply remakes, but of games to buy, period. And Chris Righteous is right. Retro Studios is overrated. They are literally a one-hit wonder. with Metroid Prime. I do not give them credit for Donkey Kong Returns and Donkey Kong Tropical Damage Control because that blueprint was already made. That blueprint was already established, but Metroid Prime was something that nobody thought would work, that people were worried about because Metroid is a 2D game, but they did come out. They delivered not once, but twice, but 3 times. So I do have to give them credit for that. But indeed, Retro Studios is a one-hit wonder. What's going on, Massetti? What's going on, Chrono Clicker? RE2 Game of the Year? I wouldn't say Game of the Year, but definitely looking good. I mean, definitely looking like a game I want to buy. Speaking of Metroid's creator says there are no plans for Nintendo to remake Super Metroid or Fusion. Thank God. One, I don't think Super Metroid ever needs to be touched. It is a perfect game in its own right. It never needs to be remade. It never needs to be touched. If anything, give it a widescreen mode, and that's it. That's all it really needs. As for Metroid Fusion, I mean, judging by the end of Return of Samus, I thought they might be having Mercury Steam lead into a Metroid Fusion. The only reason I want them to remake a Metroid Fusion is if they could promise me that it will directly lead into a Metroid 5. I want Metroid 5. I mean, Metroid Fusion had to have come out. Let me look it up. My mind tells me 2002. Oh my God, November 18, 2002. I am good. I am good. But yeah, it's been 16 years since the last official sequel to Metroid that actually advances the story. But all we're getting is prequels and integrals and side stories in the Prime series and other M. But it's been 16 years. We need a sequel. Samus now has Kozo and Metroid DNA. Imagine what a suit and powers could be with how half Kozo and half Metroid DNA would be. Be amazing. Agreed, MDZ79. Like, the prequels are getting old. We need to advance. So I'm kind of happy they're not going forward with any remakes or ports, but I would subscribe to a Metroid Fusion remake if it guaranteed they'll go right into a Metroid 5, a new game. That's what I am looking forward to. Dragon Quest 11. No, you're right. I'm confused with Final Fantasy 12. You're right. You got me. Further news, there will be 343 has confirmed there will be no Battle Royale mode for the next Halo Infinite game. They say that now, but when Call of Duty and Battlefield come out this fall, and both of those games blow up for that, they're going to change their mind. And as far as Summer Droughts go, even before Summer Droughts, Octopath Traveler, the localization. I have not played the game, but I've been reading through the localization because I like a nice, good localization. I understand back in the Super Nintendo days that, localizations could not be amazing or great because, they're trying to dumb it down. They had limited space on the cart, limited memory, and we weren't exactly into the full-on adult, uncensored themes on the Super Nintendo. But now there's no excuse. And Treehouse has been very bad and very poor in recent translations, especially with the Fire Emblem games. I don't know who did Octopath Traveler, but from what I've been reading, it's not good. The localization is poor. I mean, it doesn't really detract from the gameplay of the game, but it's 2018. We should be able to hire people that can do proper localizations now. I mean, we do it with anime. We should be able to do it with games. As far as summer droughts go, people, it is what it is. The summer drought is solved simply by this, people. You go into the Steam summer sale, you get a lot of games that you had moderate interest or you were on the fence about, but you didn't want to drop $60 for a game. But moderate interest, interest, however you want to pronounce it. And you go pick up some games for $10, $20 and, put them on normal and plow and go right through them. Run right through them. That's what you need to do. That is how you solve your summer drought. Go back to games that you didn't have a $60 interest into, but may have a $20 interest into, and then go back and try to, shave off some titles in your backlog. So I did say these videos were going to be 30 minutes. We are at the 30-minute mark. I am going to be streaming God of War for today, so if you have any questions that you want me to answer from this stream onto the next, I'm going to try to get on the God of War within the next hour. So enjoy your Saturday, everybody. Have a nice night.